Hey guys, Llama here with another Above and Beyond video. So today we're looking at 3 of these pretty beginner style farms for Above and Beyond. So what we have here is crops and wood, we have iron and flint, and then we have money. So we have cash money right here. And they're all pretty basic and low level to get started. So none of these require any kind of belts or real intricate parts. These are stuff that you should be able to do pretty early in the game once you get a bit of material started up. So all of these are powered by windmills, so you don't need any real fancy intricate power or anything. You just need, windmills and sails, which is just some, iron and some wool. So I don't really think that this is really out of the hands of possibility for a lot of people starting off in the game. Especially with no belts, you don't really need that much of a pressing system. You just need a single press just to get a few plates, and that's about it. Starting off the left right here, we have my farm. So this is basically a modified tree farm that you see in the past that I make. I'm pretty fond of radial tree farms, but it's pretty freaking efficient. It's honestly way more efficient than it needs to be. So I used a diamond one right here. Apparently diamond barrels are just not in the game. I didn't realize that. I would use a cobalt one, but I would just use an arcane one. I found a lot of arcane runes just sitting around everywhere. I didn't really know what to use them for, but apparently barrels are really good, so I'll be using it for that. The idea here is that it's built like my tree farm that I've shown before in the shorts and things, and it uses a single windmill for power, a barrel for just storing the system, a bunch of linear chassis because I didn't feel like using a bunch of glue or slime balls, and then a interface on top, the saw on the front with the harvesters, and then a deployer on the bottom for your saplings. It's a real basic system. It hooks up through here to another interface, and then that interface just drops right out into 2 of these andesite funnels, and bing bang boom, you have your materials going into here. And you can do a little bit of modifying this just to make it a little bit cleaner, but the problem I had is that it's just annoying. So once you get belts, you can really sort that out better, but this is a good just beginner style. Just move it later when you need to into some, other drawers and such. So next, we have the iron farm. I will say I sped this one up. This one, it doesn't have to be this complicated. It can be a lot smaller and more compact with just a single setup, and it would just be a little bit slower, but not really that much slower. It's pretty fast on its own. So the idea here is that it's powered by, once again, a single windmill. This one definitely has a bit more of these fans on it. It has roughly 32 or so fan blades on it, or sails on it, which half a stack's not too hard to get. I would recommend it because you can speed it up a lot, as you can see with my little chain drive right here. So I have it going into this gearbox with some chain drives with 3 drills on the top. So if you use stairs, water, easy, no real complaints there. And then as soon as the drills, finish drilling, it drops down into these millstones. Well, the millstones are hooked up once again with just a couple of cogwheels. So cogwheels, millstones are cheap. Funnels are cheap. The funnels drop down into this water pit right here. The fan right here actually pushes it over along with the water pushing it into this funnel. So I use a 1x2 barrel here just to easily store this and sort it. That way, as it's blowing on the gravel, it doesn't accidentally put gravel into it. And I, prettied it up because I thought it looked a lot better this way. But that's real simple. Like I said, you can do it with just 1 drill, 1 millstone, and 1 funnel and 1 fan. And you are going to need a press for all this. That's the only downside of these. You do need a press, but like I said, hand crank plus press, really cheap power and really cheap resource management, because these farms, as you can see right here, they're going to last you a good while until you start automating, like chapter 1 fully. These are going to be more than enough materials. I made one of these type of farms with just 1 millstone and such in my gameplay. It's honestly lasted me still. It made like 20 or 30 stacks of iron, and I haven't needed more iron since. So last but not least, we have Big Moneymaker. And this one is not fully automatic. It's mostly automatic. It's going to be utilizing the trees off of that. But as you can see right here, I do have the crate that just drops, wood down into here because I didn't feel like having to try to move that over to here because I'm lazy in this tutorial and I really didn't want to. But you can do that in the future, sort out, your stuff, and then put some of the lumber into here. That would be a pretty good way to power that. But if you go into the quest, which is shipments, early shipping. So if you go ahead and get early shipping right here, you can get a trade station and a Sterling Dynamo, and that'll make you a lot of cash really early on. So as you can see right here, I go ahead and use the Sterling Dynamo on the bottom to go ahead and power the trade station. And a bit of lumber is more than enough. Like, I haven't seen this thing really burn through that much lumber because it's just not, you know, it's not that much stuff that comes in. Like, it's made a lot of, you know, silver without a lot of really time. I'm not sure quite the, you know, amount that it's made, but what I've done here is I've used just a 6 long, you know, radial system right here for harvesting. You can make this tall as you want. That's really honestly the awesome nature of this. You can make it as expandable as possible. But I use just this small area right here. Then all these grow. I cut down, you know, wherever the berries are grown at their max capacity. It stores in a set of barrels that's actually underneath the system. Let me see if I can get to it. So there is a barrel underneath the system. You know, that's just my simple storage system that I've used on a bunch of stuff with a pretty small amount of sales. This is a lot of sales, and you can really do it with less. You can do it definitely with less sales, but I used it just to make it, you know, a little bit faster. And it makes a lot of money. It's honestly a very good way to make money early game, and once you start getting some of that cash flow, you can really start getting some nice material, honestly, because as you can see, you have all these imports that you can do, which become very handy later on, such as like blaze cakes for 16, you know, silver. That's really, really good once you start getting further in the game. But this is how I would recommend, honestly, getting blocks would be the bigger thing, because there's some blocks that I really would like to build with in this category, which would be really, really nice to be able to just, you know, import in really easily. But that's really all I have for this video. If you want some more detailed, you know, explanation of how these are built, let me know. I think they're pretty basic, honestly, and you shouldn't have any real problems with them. Because as you can see, this one, it's just a, you know, bigger version of this guy. And this guy right here is just, you know, I've already gone over the tree farm setup and how this is done. So they're pretty basic. This one, it's literally just drill through the top, drop, drop. And then a fan that blows this way. I don't personally think it's very complicated. If you do think it needs some more explanation, let me know, and I can do a couple like shorts or something and, you know, explain how to build them more precisely. But that's really all I got for the day. As you can see, it just drops once again just down into here and then process. That just all andesite funnels. All andesite funnels, which are really cheap. You get like 4 per time. You get, you know, 4 harvesters at a time. You get a saw at a time. I tried making this as efficient as I really can make it. So this one takes 12 harvesters. Not that much material. The funnels, you know, take a couple. You spend about, you know, 2 or 3 hours collecting resources, and all 3 of these could be yours, in all honesty. And that would be really a big gain in just all your processing, because all 3 of these are stuff that you need long term. The longer you go into the game, the more that these resources are just going to be kind of obnoxious to keep grinding for. So to go ahead and go over how you can expand these, they're pretty simple and basic, actually. All you got to do is just expand this arm as far as you want, toss on your interface at the end, put as many saws and deployers together as you want, and then as many harvesters as you want, and go. You just got to make sure that you get the water to it. It's pretty simple. You just move this guy further along. This one right here, this one's a little bit more convoluted, so you can expand this around, you know, 7 or 8 blocks. Then you're going to have to get a new water source. So if you just drop down the water 1 and keep going and then just move your fan towards the end, you can make this as long as you want, as long as your water can run all the way over. So that's real the basics of that. Just make sure that your water stream is long enough, and then your fan at the end of it can just, you know, blow enough of the materials to get into the drawer. This guy right here, this actually has 2 different ways. That only has a singular, since it is a tree farm as well, it has a singular point of expansion. This guy has 2 points of expansion. So make the radial arm longer, which increases the diameter of the whole entire circle. And you can also keep building layers up. So each layer does need to be 2 tall, so three tall technically altogether. But you can build it as tall as you want and as big and round as you want, and it would make a ton of money. You just also have to remember, though, that your little trade station needs to be able to keep up. And your money needs to be able to keep up. But you can also spend coin to charge your trade station with another type of generator. So that's honestly not too big of a concern. So this is probably what I would suggest starting off your Create Above and Beyond adventure with. if you don't think that, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you would personally go with, and other commenters can, you know, see that and take your suggestions as well. Along with, if you want to see any more like creations from me for Above and Beyond, let me know. I plan to get into more Chapter 2 stuff soon. I've been working a lot on Chapter 1 and setting myself back a bit, and I really want to get into the next step. Also, if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It means a ton to me. Along with subbing to the channel, keeps you updated with videos and such. I also stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. CST. Along with, I got an awesome Discord down below if you ever want to join that. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye!